Hello everyone, today we're talking about seasons. This is a topic I've come to really understand by reason of experience, and it has greatly marked my perspective to life, my perspective to my life's assignment. I think it was when we're getting into the second half of the year 2024. I put out a write-up and I was saying in that write-up that I'm grateful to God that we cannot pray ourselves out of process. I've come to realize that seasons are a testament of God's intentionality and God's faithfulness. Seasons are like they are like cubicles. God cannot put all your seasons in time. God cannot put all your seasons in a particular season or in a particular time. And so God in his faithfulness helps us to go through seasons one after the other, all for the full manifestation of our being. Life is experienced in seasons, but we are sometimes not aware of some of these transitions because some of these transitions take place in the familiar. So sometimes when it really dawns on us that we are in a different season, it's actually because the familiar has been tweaked. One of the things I find really fascinating is how something resonates with some other things. So let me give you an example. I once saw a picture of how the form of our outer ear, the shape of our outer ear looks like the womb. So basically, what you hear is birthing something in you. I'm sure you've seen that picture. If I can find it, I'm going to put it, on the screen. Dr. Anita Phillips started to talk about the garden within, and she also wrote a book about it. And she was saying how the vision of that book, or the vision of that entire spectrum, got birthed when she was when she was looking at a neuron. How the neuron is shaped like a tree, and how we have like a garden within that we are supposed to tend and cultivate. And some time ago I started to read about the similitude between the seasons we experience in nature and the seasons that we experience in our lifetime, and I totally enjoyed reading it. Now, the spring season is when plants start to spring from the ground and they start to bloom. It's during this spring season that we often experience rain, and when we relate this to the spring season of a person's life, a spring season is basically a point of new beginnings. It's a season of growth, it's a season of expansion. You get into new opportunities. Now, the summer season is when the trees start to get into this full bloom, and when we relate this with the season in a person's life, this is a point where you sort of start to experience the boons, the gains from your spring season, because the tree is in its full bloom. There is abundance. You're literally seeing the fruit of your labor, the fruit of your growth, the fruit of the opportunity that you experienced in your spring season. In your summer season, your growth is tangible. You can see it in the results that you are experiencing. Now, in your autumn season, this is a season of transition. This is a season where trees start to lose its leaves. Now, when we relate this with life, this is the season where change is experienced. This is a season where you have to let go of certain things so that your capacity can be prepared for the next. Now, this letting go, the truth about letting go is when you have to let go, you don't immediately know that you are letting go of something so that you will be prepared for the manifestation. It sometimes comes with sadness and uncertainty, because you're not just sure if you're doing the right thing, especially because you've been used to this particular season, or you've been used to this particular capacities that you have occupied, because you've been used to these things. So this is the point. It is in the autumn season that you start to experience some form of detachment from the places that no longer fit. Now, the winter season is the season where the trees have lost all their leaves. And when we relate this to our seasons, when we relate this to life, this is the season where things might seem dormant. This is the time where you want to spend time reflecting. This is the time where progress seems slow. This is the time where you might feel isolated, right? Because we talked about the autumn season where there's a lot of letting go that happens there. So in the winter season is where where it feels like you've been isolated. It feels like you've been taken off, or things have been stripped off you, and now you are just alone. And I dare say that that if you pay attention to your winter season, then you would start to come into a deeper revelation of who you really are. There will be an unveiling, there would be an unmasking. Seasons are necessary for evolution. They have a purpose of priming and prepping us for subsequent manifestations of our being. It is very important to know that the manifestation of the promise of quantum leap often come with the necessity of quantum preparation. That is, you have to be made ready for that which is ready made for you. Your life's assignment is very huge. God did not create you and then start to think about what purpose you're going to what purpose you would have. Your purpose preceded your creation, and so God is very much more interested in you becoming the best version of yourself than you think you are interested in becoming the best version of yourself. So I'll share 2 reasons why God is very interested in your becoming. 1, God loves you so much that he would never place you on platforms he has not prepared you for. 2, God loves the people that he has sent you to so much that he would not let you distort them with your own refinement. So our desire for blooming must include our yieldiness to process and preparation. Now, another thing I find fascinating is you can outgrow positions, but you cannot outgrow seasons. What I mean by this is a season can radically upgrade your livelihood, but no season can upgrade you out of seasons. Do you understand? Let me give you an example. Have you ever listened to someone that you look up to, someone you're really inspired by, someone who you would say, oh, they have everything working for them, everything is perfect, their systemization, everything, they got everything settled. And they're speaking and they're telling you, last year or a few months ago, I was experiencing this, and this. I was experiencing this pruning. I was in this very tough place. And in your mind, you're like, yeah, that's what I mean. So nobody is actually above seasons. Seasons are a requirement, they're a must for evolution. In as much as we are still living, we are called human beings. So in as much as we are still living, we can never outgrow seasons. So what then should we note about seasons? Now, it's very important to know that every season has its purpose, and we must learn to embrace every season of our lives with grace. It is in the embracing of your seasons that you would learn how to engage and explore every season. Every season has a purpose and it must be maximized. Now, I'm going to share 2 tools with you that will help you embrace every season and maximize every season. 1, discernment. 2, execution. Now, discernment is not intuition. Intuition is a function of your soul. Discernment is a function of your spirit. But why I say discernment and not intuition is because your intuition might be flawed. Your intuition can be fueled. Your intuition can be powered by past trauma. Your intuition can be powered by suspicion. Now, it is impossible to talk about discernment and not talk about God. You see, the more you spend time with God, you would know his voice, you would know what his spirit is saying per time. Even when it seems like you are meant to embrace a season that you are not used to or that seems inconvenient for you, you would receive help to navigate that particular season of your life. So the more you spend time with God, you will start to understand these things. So either you are experiencing new beginnings and expansion, or you are experiencing abundance, or you are in a season of change, or you are in a season of rest, you need discernment. You need discernment to understand when it is time to move. You need discernment to know how to embrace and properly engage that season. You know, I am reminded of Joseph in the Bible when he interpreted the dream for the king, where he was talking about some 7 years of famine and some 7 years of abundance. And by the help of God, they were able to gather food that would last them through that 7 years of famine. A life without discernment will end up being disastrous. So discernment is important to maximize every season of our lives. Now, the second tool is execution, and this is greatly tied to the first tool, which is discernment. Execution is when you learn how to do what you are meant to do per time. So yes, imagine Joseph already, interpreted the dream and said some 7 years of famine is coming. Imagine he already discerned, he knew. But imagine if he did not take step in accordance to that discernment. Do you understand what I'm saying? So execution is very important. Execution is when you do what you are meant to do based on the information that you have been given by reason of discernment. When you receive instructions, please carry them out. It is for your own good. Take for example, if you are in this season of abundance and God is telling you, or you're receiving an instruction that you should leverage the connections that you have access to by reason of that expansion to expand the horizons of your business or whatever you are doing, do it. Don't say, oh, we do it when do it. If God is calling you to a season of rest, if God is calling you to a season of rest, and maybe you are a doer and you are still trying, and my sister, my brother, please rest. Because the beautiful thing is, if God is asking you to rest in a particular season, best believe you are going to get into a season where you will not have as much time as you once had to rest. If God is telling you to create resources, do this, do that, please do it. It is for your own good. If you are receiving wisdom to create systems that will work even when you are not around on everything, please do it. It is for your own good. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. I'm sure this video blessed you. Yeah. And I will see you tomorrow.